Hello again, welcome back to the show. I'm your host Kyle, and I'm going to be talking about Monkey Man. It's, I guess, the latest in the line of John Wick inspired action movies. And to jump right into it, it starts in an Indian forest village near the bustling city of Yatana, where a mother tells her kid the story of a deity. Now, as part of their Hindu beliefs, this story follows the divine humanoid ape named Hanuman. Now, Hanuman's tale begins with him reaching for the sun, believing it to be a ripe fruit. But upon eating it, the gods punished Hanuman, stripping him of his powers and casting him down to earth. Now, years later, in the city of Yatana, that nameless kid has grown to be a man, played by Dev Patel. Now, wearing a monkey mask and with a history of violence, he fights in a underground boxing club owned by a man named Tiger, played by Sharlto Copley. Now, as a jobber, I believe the term is, the more this boy or this grown man uh, bleeds, the more he is paid. Now, all of this is just to supplement his true goal, however, which is with his knowledge of the underground, he manages to obtain a low level position in a nightclub slash brothel, which is run by a despicable madam named Queenie Kapoor, played by Ashwini Kalisar. Now, Monkey Man, as we will call him, plots his revenge against those who filled his past with violence. But his vengeance will be hard earned as the city of Yatana is endlessly corrupt. Now, Queenie's partner is the chief of police, a man named Rana Singh, played by Sikandar Kaur. Now, Rana is under the command of a powerful and ruthless spiritual leader, Baba Shaki, played by Makhand Deshpande. Now, this Baba seeks to reinforce his own power with the support of a rising nationalist political party. And all of these things stand in Monkey Man's way. Now, he'll have to confront all of them, as well as his own past, if he has any hope of victory. Now, as I have already done myself, pretty much as many times as you're going to hear the title Monkey Man, you're going to hear variations of Indian John Wick as a way to describe it. But I think while the lead actor Dev Patel's directorial debut, it pays homage to the Keanu Reeves franchise. Monkey Man really is something altogether different. It weaves Hindu mythology and social commentary into its screenplay as much as it does violent fight sequences. Now, to be honest, Monkey Man actually reminds me much more of the slick style of the movie Drive, which was from 2011, or of course, the hyper violent Indonesian The Raid films. Probably more than it does John Wick. Dev Patel's character is pretty much a man with no name of sorts. He's not some immortal, bulletproof superhero who's just like gun fooing his way through swarms of enemies for 2 hours. He's a very human and very damaged individual, and as his body count rises, so do his scars and his own injuries, which slow him down, and it adds to the film's intensity. Now, Monkey Man is actually much more interested in the dramatic aspects of its revenge story than it is just all out action. Something which, to be honest, it might dissuade some viewers if that's what they're looking for. And I mean, to be perfectly fair, action was the main focus of the trailers of Monkey Man. But much of the film is based around the protagonist, or the man with no name's personal trauma, and his past is it's revealed slowly. And while I do think it's fairly cliched and quite predictable. I mean, you don't need, to be honest, I didn't even need to see the flashbacks that eventually play to pretty much be able to predict exactly what happened to him in his past. But the film does take its time in revealing this about the character. The mythological and socio political aspects of the plot are really something that you don't really see them in modern Hollywood action films, which I think this is what gives Monkey Man a much more unique, dare I say, Bollywood flavor. Because at times it does bite off more than it can chew comfortably, unfortunately. Like things like nationalism and bigotry of the bigotry of India's caste system, they really tackled with all the subtlety of a of a roundhouse kick to the face. And having said that, I'm so happy to see Dev Patel have the ambition to look at these issues, and they really do kind of set the film apart from other John Wick inspired action films, which are just all about action and there's nothing really more deep behind them. Uh, but having said that, while the film does start off uh, kind of light on the action, as the movie enters its final act, that's where the action of the film really picks up, as well as the brutal violence, and that's really where I draw more of the comparisons to the Raid than I don't I dare say the comparatively bloodless John Wick. I mean, between the Raid and John Wick, the Raid definitely has a lot more a lot more blood and gore in it, and this movie reminds me a lot more of that. The action in Monkey Man, it's shot fairly well with much more of a focus on just chaotic movement and fight choreography, with really everything from shaky cam to first person perspective techniques being used throughout the movie. And sometimes, however, the film is really scrappily edited, and like I noticed several times throughout the movie, there's like sudden jolts in the middle of a scene where it makes it clear that, well, it makes it at least really look like two shots have been spliced together. And this film's director of photography, Sharon Mia, now he actually was the director of photography on the 2014 film Whiplash, and he captures which the the drumming movie where J.K. Simmons swears at Miles Teller for 2 hours. Or now this movie does really capture that same manic energy that Whiplash had, but unfortunately, Monkey Man it doesn't have the Oscar-winning editing that Whiplash had, and yeah, the movie at times it because of that it can kind of look a little scrappy, unfortunately. But Monkey Man, I think it's a deep and frantic and really exceptionally violent directorial debut from Dev Patel. For years now, we've known that Dev Patel has got the acting chops, but I think it's really fascinating to see him pull off this type of film as well, not just in front of, but also behind the camera. And Monkey Man, it may be a bit slow in parts, and some audiences may demand non-stop action. They might be put off by that. But I still think it features plenty of unique qualities which will make this a cult classic of the revenge action film genre in the future. So I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5. I did quite enjoy it, and yeah, if you're a fan of John Wick, you're a fan of revenge movies, action movies, really, I think it's worth checking out. It's definitely a movie with a difference. So yeah, give it a shot.